And also, President Nana Akufo has reiterated his commitment to fighting violence and political party vigilantism across the country. Describing these incidents as criminal, the president says, and I quote, "I will walk a new path to fight criminal vigilante groups." So let's help the president out with new ideas. How do you think the president should deal with vigilantism?
He should tackle it within the party heads, something like, because they know those who are the leaders, they know them, so they can handle it from their areas, because other than that they can't do anything about it. If they have to tackle it, they have to tackle it from the heads. They know all the leaders who are taking those decisions. You know, as for the grassroots, they take orders from the elders. So
to entreat the police to handle that thing, you see, because honestly speaking, what is happening now is uncalled for. Because your party is in power, that doesn't give you the chance of doing all sort of causing commotions, fighting, and then destroying things. So you should, I think, you should talk to the police. They are the very people who can come in to do that. No favoritism.
You see, nobody should confuse any Ghanaians. Those are the group they were using to do their politics. So if you are in a position, you benefit from those groups, and if you come to power, you are going to dissolve those groups. I mean, there is no issue of reality there. The president could in any way dissolve that group. You have to be dealing with those guys through the police. So they should have to rely on the police service. Apart from that, no.
All right, so some free advice for the presidency there. Let's check out what you've been posting on Facebook.
By Jeremiah says this vigilante groups are undesirable elements who maneuver their way into a society through the loopholes created in our governance system to cause mayhem and destroy public property. The security agencies should try and smoke them out and deal with them according to the laws. I'll also suggest that we should just try using military just for one of those disturbances to deal with them. The public should also report to the police any suspicion of criminal plans. Kwesi Watianyepa says, I get diarrhea anytime I hear the word vigilante groups. I don't understand why we keep on entertaining those boys and they get the guts to comb around and misbehave. They are just eroding the gain achieved by MPP. The nonsense must cease with alacrity. And Nakuchombi says, that's gone. Simple, walk the talk until fire burns you for the first time. You think your mom is just nagging. Disband these groups before it goes out of hand. I pity the politicians. When they finish all the fish in the narrow waters, they will venture into the deep waters. A word to the wise, Baba Musa said, is in the north. Yo.
That's an interesting one. And Nasser Hassan Yaima says, I heard someone suggesting they should use military. Today you find small boy as a military man and you think he can stand these heavy built men. Ernest Ayesu Senior says, I have noticed a trend. Anytime Nada talks about fighting vigilantism, the more it worsens. Mr. President, stop the talk and act. James Abusanga says the president should and must tackle the issues of vigilantism seriously and vigorously without fear or favor. The vigilantes have exhibited a lot of disregard for law and order in the country. Those are very interesting comments from Facebook. Well, finally, Ryle Burns, a lady who worked in a residential care home for elderly people and vulnerable adults in the UK, has lost her 21-year-old job for posting a photo of a sing-along at work on her Facebook page. Well, let's come back home, and it brings back the conversation of using employees jumping at social media, employees jumping at social media at work and thereby minimizing productivity. You recall the recent incident of some nurses doing Facebook Live during work hours? Well, that was just one of the many incidents out there. So tell me, what in your opinion can employers do to reduce or prevent their employees from temptations of social media at work and to minimize production and to maximize production? I beg your pardon.
I believe anybody who's working can avoid temptation from social media when you get to your workplace. There's a rules and regulations. When you come to work, you are using the social media or the internet for the purpose of the job. You can't use it for your own self. And for example, you are using it for yourself and your boss comes and sees you, you can be fired. So when you get to the office, social media sees to the benefit of you, but it keeps working to the benefit of their job.
Personally, they cannot avoid it, but in every company or in every company there must be rules and regulations. So if you are working in a company and you don't have to, the rules does not permit you, you don't have to do it as a worker. Do you understand me? So because social media it should be personal. Because personally, I have my Facebook account, I have everything. So my employer cannot tell me not to use it, but I must know how to use it.
All right, so what have you been posting there? We'll check it out.
By Jeremiah says, I agree to that absolutely. Some people have become addicted to social media to an extent that they should use precious times at work side of social media. So some even forget and use social media language in writing official reports to the employers. Strict social media policy will help keep employees focused on their work. Judicious Sodro says, I think it is time for employees to be very careful when making Facebook posts concerning their jobs, because nowadays social media has now become a marketing center whereby many companies market their goods and services and to promote their company image. So I don't think any company or employer will be happy to see a Facebook post that will tarnish their company's image. And I don't think any employer can ban their workers from using social media at their workplaces, because it has its own positive and negative implications.
And Sadat Larry Kokoroko says, yes, that will be beautiful, this thing, pa. We are in a computer world and technology advanced, pa. Nowadays, even kids don't use stones during calculation when giving mathematics homework. Okay, so your point is, Sadat, and Amwan says, this is a very good question. I think when an employee is using his or her platform wisely, there will be no worries. But to those who are using it to bully and insult and other related crimes, must wake up from their slumber. Nath Hope says, yes, they should. This is because they tend to forget what is at stake in the job and leave the work they would have to do. And Nuwokbo, God knows, Billy says, if I will not post anything that is related to my job, so I don't think any regulations put in place will have any impact on my social media post.